Easiest way to turn 100K to a million. That is exactly what we're going to talk about here. The budget here is 100 and the destination is a million. So how then do you figure out how to go about it? Don't forget, I said the easiest. And of course, here it comes with effective. Effective meaning it's reliable on that matter. That is exactly what you clicked for, and that is exactly what I'm going to share with you at the end of this video. Stay put, and by the way, if you're watching me for the first time, go ahead and hit that like button, leave a comment on the comment section, and make sure that you subscribe so that you'll be notified whenever I upload such kind of new good videos. My name is Good Joseph. Let's get on the business. Now, the first question I should ask you, how, by the way, do this. Take yourself a pen and paper and answer this question. How did you get 100K? How did you get that? How did you, don't even, first of all, don't even think about this. How did you get here? All right. Now, after answering that question, probably you saved, you're employed, probably in a business, you did your savings, probably whatever you used or whatever you did to get there. Then ask yourself, how long did it take? How long did it take? Some of you, you took a whole 1 year serious, 1 year of saving. You got this money. Some of you saved this money for like 6 months. Some of you did it for a single month or whatever the period it is. How long did it take? So based on what you have right now, assuming you don't explore any skills, assuming you don't do anything, you don't start a business, you don't invest, and you rely on what you did, that is the fastest way and the easiest way to hit yourself a million. Let me explain. Here is you here. You're employed, you're earning a salary, say, of 40K, and you manage to save, say, each and every month 15K, and this took you approximately 8 months to save this 100K. And then what happens, this what you did to save the 100K, it is the easiest and it is the fastest way based on what you have right now. Assuming you don't do anything, assuming you don't even watch this video, that is the fastest way to save to this amount of money. If it took you 8 months to get into 100, assuming that you maintain the same discipline, consistency, you only need to 10x this. You need yourself 8 months. You divide that by 12, you find out how many years you need. You get what I'm saying? Then you got yourself into this. And of course, I'm assuming that you're not investing your cash, you're only saving. If you're investing, it is 80 or divided by 12 into bracket that minus whatever you're getting from the investment. Then it means, assuming that maybe this one is 6 years, then it's lesser than that. That is the easiest, that is the fastest way you can do that. But then assuming that you want to shorten that period of time, it means then you have to disturb the current comfort that you have. And that is now what I'm about to share with you, how you go about it. The easiest, that is the formula. You go about it and you save and you reach there and you take this figure from 100K to a million. But what if you want to fasten it further? Then it means with the current skills, with the current things that you're doing, you can't rely on those. You have to go an extra mile. And what are the examples of the things that you can do? Here I am with you. If you ask me, I will tell you, with the current technology that we have right now, the fastest way you can grow this cash is buying or doing what we call skills plus digital products. What do I mean by that? Skills. Let me put this on board. Skills plus digital products. What are digital products? You remember me telling you, hey, I usually have some booklets that I have written and I usually sell, and you can buy and learn some things, either stocks, MMF, and what have you. That is exactly what I'm talking about. That is a digital product. It can also be a digital service. For example, you are seated there, you watch me, and you'd like me to guide you on this, usually charge for those services. That is a digital service. That is where we are right now. Let's assume you don't have the ability to have this digital product, of which I wonder why you shouldn't. You can now rely. By the way, the only way you can sell a digital product, or the first way to get a digital product, you must possess yourself a skill. Let's say you don't want to learn a skill. You want to buy and sell something. That is now, you go ahead and do what we call flipping things. This is what we call now You buy and flip high demand products. For example, nowadays you can even buy things from all over the country, rather all over the world. You can buy things from Alibaba, you can buy things from Amazon, you can buy things from places to places, and you can be able to resell. Been using this example day in and day out. I know you remember, or you thought like I'm gonna discuss with you investing. That is easy, does not require any effort, provided you just take your cash and put it into an investment, then you let your money grow. For example, you can pick like stocks, keep on buying shares, you fatten the cow, keep on doing the thing, then you can grow ultimately to all those levels of a million. They do not require any stress. You don't call anybody, you don't get involved, you don't da, 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 da. But then if you would like to fasten this period, then you have to get yourself into the buying and selling either of product or services. And this is where we're talking about either you get into the flipping of things, or you can get into digital skills, or you can get the skills plus the digital products, whereby you can come up with something. This is why I always tell people, now you zoom in into your life. What can you do? What do you understand? Or what do you know? That what you know, then how can you turn it to be a digital product? Oh, Joseph, I studied hospitality, so I know some etiquettes, I know some, I can teach. So you can teach people something. There is something that you learned. You are a psychologist, you are a teacher, you can teach students online. You are a chef, you can cook, you can actually prepare yourself an ebook about recipes on how people can buy and rather cook and all those kind of things. And you can sell that particular ebook. You are there, you can be able to teach people online, you can offer those coaches, you can prepare yourself a masterclass. That is, if you ask me, I would say it is the easiest. Sure, it is the hardest when you're starting, but as time goes by, it turns out to be the easiest on how you can be able to do some things. If you do not come from that world whereby you can be able to come up with those particular products, then you can liaise with you, particularly identifying some fast moving products, then you can buy them and then you can sell them online. You can simply open yourself an account whereby you can sell your things. Or if you do not know how to make videos and what have you, you can simply record what you're selling. Then you can pay ads. You can pay Google ads, you can pay Meta ads, you can pay all those ads, and you can be able to do what? You can be able to sell. For example, you can even go to TikTok and you can decide, you know, for example, if you pay an X amount of money, they tell you your product will be viewed by over 2,000 people. Then they push that product to people. And then in that process, you've packaged yourself very well. Then out of the whatever the number of people will actually consume that video, they will be able to convert, and some of them will become your clients and be able to sell. Then what you do, because the idea is to convert from 100 Gs to a million, so what you do, you reinvest the profit that you're making or the interest. You see, you can't take the 100K and then you're making Y amount of money, then you're eating the Y amount of money expecting a miracle to happen. No, you can't eat your cake and have it at the same time. The point here is to keep on plowing back. You plow back, you plow back your interest, you plow back your profit, so that at least you can ultimately push that money to those particular levels. So here there are two ways, or rather there are three ways. One is the one that I shared with you. What did you do to get to 100? The less stress-free is to simply keep on doing that. Just keep on doing that as you figure out what you can actually do with the current money that you're having for it to make you some cash. So in that regard, then you shorten the period. That one, you don't even disturb anything, you don't even worry about it, you don't even change anything, you just simply keep on doing that. You hit there. And that's the easiest. Well, if yours took 10 years for you to hit there, then of course I bet it will actually take you a little bit of longer period of time. But then if you want to disturb that norm, you feel like it took a little bit longer period of time, then you can engage into three ways. One is a low risk, easy to manage. This is where the money works for you. This is where you explore the investment. But I can assure you it will take a little bit of time before it hits that levels of a million. Two, this is where you engage in things that are called medium risk. These are the things I'm talking about, the digital products and what have you, and the skills in combination. And then lastly, this is where you can actually manage to multiply this money at a faster rate. This is where you get into the business. This is where you get into the business of selling things or selling services. And of course, me and you know that businesses are a bit risky. But of course, it being risky, it also comes with a what? Advantage on top of it. So it depends, what personality do you possess. But the reality is, there's something I'll let you know before I finish up this video. The moment you hit that mark of a million, we usually say you're now wearing the material or the clothing of someone who can become a millionaire. Why? Because what happens, assuming we say this is 10, This is 50. This is 100. Okay. Okay. We can call this one 700. No, rather 500. Okay. We can call this 700K. We can call this one 800K. And then we can call this 1,000,000. See, what happens is that it might take you, actually should have been 0 here, then here should be the 10. Now you find for you to move from having nothing to 10K, it might take you a little bit of time. But now, as the more you get cash, for example, now once you hit the 10K here, the moment now it becomes a little bit easier. Now you hit yourself at 100K. The moment you hit 100K, to exponentially grow all the way to 1,000,000, it becomes less and less tedious. Why? Because now you're no longer trading you yourself alone as a skills, time, and energy. No, you're now having the cash that is actually making sense. For example, it's a simple mathematics. If you take 1,000 and invest it, where you're getting an average of 10, you're gonna get yourself 100 bob, 100, just 100. But then if you take a 10 times of this, it means you'd get 100 times 10, meaning you'd get yourself 1,000. So of course the returns of 1,000 is higher than the return of 100. Assuming you had yourself 1,000,000, it means that this one times 10, you get yourself a return of 100K. If you had 10 billion, of course, it means that you get yourself 1,000,000. That's why miracles start to happen the moment you clock that figure of 100. If only you know how to grow it. That's why I specifically choose that figure. How do you get from 100 to 1,000,000? Why? Because I can assure you, the effort that you did put from 0 to 100, it is way bigger from 100 to... That's the reality. And I know that may sound as if though it's a very lonely journey to move from 100 to 1,000,000, it's a very lonely journey. It requires a lot of effort, dedication, and sacrifices. But ultimately, the moment you clock that 100 down, moving towards that figure, it becomes now achievable. Because for God's sake, assuming that you were to compartmentalize the 1,000,000 into compartments of 100K, you only have 10 compartments, and you've actually kicked one. You're only left with 9, and you can use the advantage of the one to actually hit the 9th one, the 8th one, the 7th, the 6th, the 4th, until you hit the first one. Then you're done. Here you have your figure. And listen, guys, it is always easier said than done. Of course, it's never easier done than said. That is exactly what you're supposed to do. So you choose your route that you want to follow, then explore that route, keep on pumping in cash, have the discipline, consistency, and then you can ultimately hit to that particular figure of 1,000,000. This is good, Joseph, in case you need my service based on what I've discussed there. And in case you need me to make a part 2 of this one, you can always go ahead and hit me up and we can talk business. That's my number. See you in the next one.